Hey, Jake, second episode of the year. Let's go. I went to New
Nice.
York City. I went to the Comedy Cellar, the best location. They got all kinds of locations. They got four now. They're building a theater. They're going to have a fifth, all within a city block. It's wild over there. But McDougal is my favorite location. I don't actually know how big it is. Maybe 75 people get crammed into there, maybe 100. It's a real wide room, small stage. Super fun and just a killer lineup. Had this guy, let's see, John Laster. You ever heard of him?
No,
He's from Denver. He said
really?
it on stage, or when they brought him up, they said that. But that must have been maybe he grew up in Denver.
Yeah.
Because part of his set, he mentioned that he played basketball for University of Minnesota. There were some people from Minnesota there, and he had a real funny joke about that. So maybe he grew up in Denver, like as a kid, and then hasn't been there as an adult. He doesn't come through Comedy Works that I'm aware of. Very funny guy though. Laster, cool hosting style. Do you host much anymore?
No, I think I host, maybe 20 times a year, something like that.
Okay. Do you have a like a game plan for hosting that's different than a regular set?
Not really. Try
Okay.
to be punchy at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was interesting. Like it gave me. Last episode we were talking about. I was trying to book Friday, February 20th. Good news, booked it. Two
Nice.
shows at a club, hosting. Very excited. Had a bunch of swings and misses, but it's only been 48 hours in taping time, and
Yeah.
I filled it up. And of course, this morning, a very famous comedian emailed me or actually texted me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in town that week," and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." Like, I mean, I could have put on a show, or if they get on a show, I could have opened for them.
Yep.
And I just booked this like yesterday. And I was waiting. I wanted to fill that date. And if I had waited like 24 hours,
Yep.
uh, this could have worked out. But anyways, John Laster. So I'm hosting at Friday, February 20th. I'm thinking about kind of borrowing from his strategy, which was more talking to the audience.
Okay.
Like we've talked about this before. You want to get everybody to become a single community. They're one entity together. Finding out where people are from, and I think this will work at this club because it's kind of a touristy club in Denver. It's a Denver Comedy Lounge.
Yep.
They do a lot of I've worked there a bunch, and it's just there are a lot of locals, but there are a lot of people like on vacation with friends that live in Denver. So you're going to get people of all walks of life and kind of get to know them, and then you just figure out what jokes come up. Like when that group said they were from Minnesota, this guy had a bit. He's probably been doing it for 20 years about being a student at the University of Minnesota when it's negative 20 degrees. I don't want to spoil his punchlines, but it's very funny joke. Maybe I'll share it on the Patreon. And let me go through this lineup with you. It was wild. Zahid Duij, who I have no idea who that is, but he's been on the Tonight Show and he was fine. Leclerc Andre, who I've definitely heard of, a well-known comic. Peter Revello. You ever heard of this guy? He's amazing.
Yeah.
He is so funny. He's a New York City comic. He crushed. He was so good. At the Cellar that everybody does 15 minutes. There's no headliner, nothing like that. Then we had Ryan Hamilton. Do you know him?
I do know him. Yep.
He's great. I've never seen him before.
Yeah.
First time. People have told me before I'd like him, and boy was he funny and effortless in a way. Like it didn't seem like he was trying. I don't think he was. It was like new material. He was like looking at his phone. He was like goofing around, but his premises were so funny. He was something else. And then Nathan McIntosh, who I'm just a huge fan of, and he's been out to do Vail stuff, and I've had him all over Colorado 2 or 3 times in the past, and he's just a killer. It was super fun to see him, and he closed out the Comedy Cellar show. And you haven't been to the Comedy Cellar, right?
No.
Yeah, they got a crazy, like, you got to get in line. Like they sell out every show. They do 4 venues, 10 shows a day, 7 days a week. Help me with that math. What is that? 208, almost 300 shows a week. They're selling out every single show. There's a wait list. People show up and get in a special line to hope to get in. And there's always a couple people that don't show up. They don't charge you until after the show. How about that?
Huh.
You don't pay for the show. You just put in your email address and say, I want 2 tickets or I want 4 tickets. And then they hope that you show up, and you do. people do. They line up around the corner, and at a certain time they start letting you in, and they bag up your phones. Not like with those what's the brand name of that gray and green bag?
Yonder,
Yonder,
Wagner?
yeah. Not Yonder bags. They're just like postal cellophane bags that you just stick all the phones for your party into, seal them up, and they write like your table number on it. And then you get sat based on whatever's been written on that, like half an hour previously. And they come give you your drinks. And when you get your drink bill at the end, there's an extra, I don't know, $30 a person for watching the show. So yeah, pretty cool at the Comedy Cellar. You gotta get out there. You gotta see a show.
I'm gonna have to see a show at the Comedy Cellar for sure.
Yeah. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. So I was in New York City for a couple of days. We talked the other day about the crazy diabetes sign that I saw.
Yeah.
Pretty clean in New York City. You know, definitely I'm old enough. I've seen decades come, they go. Times Square, spick and span, super clean. The subway, every time I was on the subway, so clean. Man, I was so proud of myself because I remembered my subway cards. I have these Metro cards. They cost $1 and you load them up. And I actually remembered them this visit to pack them, and they don't use them anymore. So anybody out there wants to buy my collector's item subway cards, I'll pull one out. I think I got it in my pocket. But it's so cool now. You just tap your phone and it charges you like $3 or $4 and Metro card.
Yeah. And I was confused because I tapped the phone when I was in New York City, and it was like, transfers, like bus transfers, you don't have to pay for the transfer, but they don't give you anything. So you just tap your phone twice, and apparently they have some sort of thing on the back end. Oh, okay.
Figure out
that's a transfer. You don't have to pay the second time.
Yeah.
So they figure it out. It's just phone wise. It's weird, man.
I will say that the cleanliness was kind of contained to tourist areas. Because I'll get to this in a little bit. We got outside a tourist area, and but the next comedy thing I did was actually a Broadway show. There's an author. You're a big reader. Have you heard of Simon Rich?
No.
You would love him. Short stories, super funny. Just very like everyday premise kind of stuff. Look him up, Simon Rich. The Broadway show right now is called All Out. You get 4 people who basically just read Simon Rich stories. And sometimes there's maybe 2 people, so there's like some dialogue back and forth. But they're sitting there with like a binder with the words, and they're reading them. Okay, you ready for the 4 people that I got? They have like 20 different people, but every show is different. Jim Gaffigan. Not too shabby, right? What? Pretty good. Where's my list? I lost it. Wayne Brady.
Wow.
You know him? By the way, does not look a day older than he did when I saw him on TV 20 years ago. I don't know what's going on. He doesn't look like all jizzed up like he's got surgery, but he looks like he's 30 years old. He must be 50 or 60 at this point. Wayne Brady, Cecily Strong. You know who that is?
SNL. Yep.
Yeah, SNL. Yep. And you're going to like this one. Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz. That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lineup, huh?
Yeah. That's interesting because Ben Schwartz and Wayne Brady are famous improvisers. I'm sure Cecily Strong did some improv, but Gaffigan
at the very end when they did their like curtain call, you could tell that Wayne and Ben had like the best chemistry because they were like they did this like low high five thing, and they were all super pumped and thought the show went amazing. Jim was kind of mailed it in. He was probably the weakest. He doesn't need that. Whatever he's getting paid, he probably doesn't need it.
He doesn't need that money.
But he's definitely, for this year, they did a similar thing. This is called All Out, and all the stories have like a entrepreneur kind of theme. And last year was All In, and it was everything was love themed.
Oh no.
But this year, the big difference was they had a band, this band called Lawrence, and you got to check them out. Incredible, like 7 to 10 people. It's really just a brother and sister. The sister sings, the brother plays the piano, but then they have like a 5-piece drum and horn section as well. And it was just like high energy, super fun, funky. The girl's like 25, super young, bouncing all over the place. And so it was a very fun Broadway experience. It was also, I would say, comedy adjacent.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if Jim Gaffigan's in it, it's got to be at least a little bit of comedy, right?
Yeah, last year I had John Mulaney.
Yeah, wow. So you've done this again? Oh,
I did. So I did I went to the Love one last year, and honestly, this one it wasn't as good.
Really?
It was still pretty amazing, and you could tell they spent more money on like the set and having the band there. But it was a classic sequel situation where they knew they had a concept that worked, and they were just like, let's do it again with a couple twists, and it's definitely not as good or unique or as original as the first one. And the story, even the theme was like, they really mailed it in. These are all businessy stories. It was like one was about a horse. Like, why is a horse? There was also a very funny story about Neil Armstrong getting on the moon and saying, one small step for man or whatever. And then this was like a week ago. I can't remember the guy's name. Who's the other guy who walked on the moon?
Buzz Aldrin.
Was it Buzz Aldrin? Buzz Aldrin. And he's like, he just muffles his way through some terrible speech. Like, I'm also all men. There's dust here. And then he gets it was Jim Gaffigan, and he did really well. He was like, what are you doing, man? You threw me under the bus. Did you guys prepare for that? It's so unfair. And then at the very end, the big punch is, you know what? I'm going to tell everybody this was fake. That's that was super fun. And then the last comedy thing I did out there was I went to New York Comedy Club in the East Village. And this was I saw a rat run across the sidewalk. I saw detritus blowing through the street. It was not the tourist area anymore, but well-run comedy club, very fun. Ran into comics I knew, which was pretty cool. Meka Mo, shout out to Meka Mo. She was on the show. She did a Vail Comedy Festival, maybe when you were there. Do you know Meka?
I think so. That name sounds very familiar.
Yeah. You were the first year, right?
I was the first year.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she was first year too. And she's since had a Don't Tell, one of those tiny specials come out, and is passed at the New York Comedy Club apparently. Yep. And Rojo Perez from the Tonight Show, who's came out last year to Vail to do a run with me, was in the like bar area. So I got to hang out and say hi to him. That was pretty fun. They were lamenting that industry never come to showcases anymore. Like none of the bookers go anywhere. And they were kind of saying, like it was kind of implied that, wow, it's nice to see you here, because you book stuff and you're actually watching. And sure enough, there was a guy who was very good on the show. I forget it, Seaton something. It was super funny, and I gave him a card, and I'd love to have him out to Colorado sometime if we can figure it out.
So are you big time in them whenever after the show you're like, hey,
no,
you know who I am. Here's my card.
No, not at all. No, they were surprised to see me. I knew Meka was going to be there. I had no idea Rojo was going to be there. That was really nice. And both Rojo and Meka were in New Orleans at Skankfest. So I just saw them like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So kind of fun to see him again. And there was another guy on the show, which was kind of the reason I went to that one. He's a guy that we went back and forth negotiating, trying to get him out, and he kind of bailed. He kind of big leagued me, and I saw him, and he was fine. He wasn't amazing, and so I feel better about it now.
Yes, good. Because you've said like 4 different people are amazing, maybe 5 different people are amazing. I gotta check all these people, because I mean that's what I would expect. I mean, we've talked about New York City, like my experience in New York City. I didn't go to the Cellar, and
and you didn't have a great experience. I mean, honestly,
they were good.
Here, I'll run through the names just so we got them in the algorithm. I probably shouldn't say this now, given what I said a second ago, but I'm just going to read the names and not attribute any of them to anything special. Julio Diaz, Mike Cannon, Meka Mo, James Mattern, who, by the way, unrelated to anything I've said so far, James Mattern was hosting the show at McDougal after the show I went to the night before. So, and he left that show to go host again at Comedy Works. I'm not sure which room. Seaton Smith was a very funny guy out of DC, but has lived in New York for like 15 years. And Billy Hockman, who I heard was really funny, but I actually didn't see his set. He got like the check drop set. It was set up kind of uniquely. And I wanted to go out and make sure that I caught Meka and Seaton. and got to talk to him. So yeah, fun times in New York. Lots of comedy, man. You can do comedy anytime. Like I was looking for a show to do, and they have like legit shows that start at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Like you see like, go ahead.
Did you get up? Did you do anything?
No, I didn't perform at all. No, I was off for the holidays.
Yeah.
And I probably won't try to perform in New York City for years.
Yeah.
I've done it and it's just been total trash.
Yeah.
Not worth the energy. There's so much cool stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to basically do a glorified open mic. That are book shows, but they're terrible. Like it's no doubt. Like I saw the guys barking in Times Square and also around the corner from Grizzly Pear, which is right by the Comedy Cellar. And I felt so bad for them. Like I'm like their showcases would be awesome in Denver, but in New York City, they are absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, you could run into Jim Gaffigan anywhere. Jerry Seinfeld's popping into these clubs. Like it's amazing. So I decided a while ago that I wasn't going to really perform in New York. If I went out there for like a whole week or a month, that's what I'll do eventually. So I'll go out there for like a quarter, maybe. I'll like rent an apartment for 3 months and I'll live in New York City for 3 months. I'll go to Mike's multiple times a day and try and get up at showcases and maybe book some stuff in advance. But no, I did not get up. Yeah. Long answer, but yeah.
Well, there you go. Fun.
I put in for a show in Ohio this summer, and if I get it, I will be hitting you up about setting up a run and getting into Kentucky, and I'll do some stuff in Michigan, and maybe we can book some stuff together as well. Maybe rent some rooms.
That's fun.
So that's that. You tell a story, and I got some more.
Oh stuff. Yeah. I went to Brad Upton. I saw Brad Upton show.
Okay, I've heard of him. He's been on Conan a bunch, right?
He's the #1 dry bar. That's his biggest thing.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
He's had dry bar probably. I think he has 2 or 3 dry bars, but he is the most watched dry bar. That's what.
Oh yeah, I have no idea who this guy is. Okay.
But very, very funny. I've seen him around, kind of runs in the same circle.
What club did he do?
Louisville Comedy Club. Okay. And it was a little frustrating. I don't know, Mark, I'm going to tell you, I got frustrated. It happens sometimes. Okay. I got
aggravation of the week time, everybody. Big Jake Hovis, aggravation of the week.
I was aggravated. And I was aggravated because
we'll pull out the Chris Farley there.
Yeah.
Down by the river.
Yeah. I'm aggravated. I like the hair movement, but
I'm jealous.
The booker for the Louisville Comedy Club, the Bark, booker, sent out the email that says, "Hey, Brad Upton needs a clean feature. They're doing he's doing a 2-man show, so just the feature, and Brad, that's it. It needs to be a clean feature in Louisville on this certain date." I replied within 15 minutes, and then about 5 minutes after that, they said, "Oh, it's already been filled." And I'm like, I wasn't slow on this. And
sometimes 15 minutes is slow. Like if they're sending that to like 1,000 people,
I don't know how many they're sending it to.
You'll get responses. I did something like that for Vail Comedy Festival recently, where when you apply, we ask if you're willing to volunteer at all. We have some like social media, like this stuff that can be done now. And so I sent out an email to like 20 people saying, "Hey, who's interested in helping?" And the first response was under a minute.
Oh, wow.
And I also got a response like 24 hours later, so it was kind of like, a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, and 24 hours was on just 20 people. So,
So, I mean,
so let's hear how bad the feature was. I know where this is headed.
It's not that. It's that there is no clean feature in Louisville besides me. I'm it. That's it. The list begins and ends with me.
Yeah. But people will travel to feature at a bar club.
Yeah. And I didn't, for what, I mean, Mark, sometimes I didn't have a whole lot of time to think. So I didn't think that. I didn't think that they're going to get.
You were just aggravated. You were angry brain.
And so they A guy did travel from Cincinnati, a friend of mine, and I'm not mad.
That's not. I mean, you've said before that they're kind of the same market, so it's barely
Yeah.
travel.
Cincinnati's not far enough, not too far away.
Yeah.
So,
Bummer. Did you ask him or her how quickly they responded?
No, I didn't. He would have told me. Yeah, he would have told me. But this has happened before with him.
Okay,
I
buddy, you got to put the alerts on your phone.
I got to, but he did this thing again, last minute change of plans. We have a new headliner. He needs a feature. I respond very quickly, and they respond back to me. Do you want to host instead? And I said, sure. I'm still available. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I hosted, and this guy was the feature. So it's like, oh my goodness, he must have just been faster than me then too.
You know, I've been on the other end of this. I think you were the other comic, honestly. Do you remember the time we did a run through Colorado?
Yeah.
I sent an email out to like 3 people about that, and you responded, I want to say, within a minute. It was very quick because somebody else responded 5 minutes later from LA, and I had to tell them, I'm so sorry, it's already gone. And I could tell they didn't believe me. They thought that like I'd given it away previously, and I was just like fake offering it or something.
Oh. That's interesting. No, well, I mean, that makes it feel better, honestly. So that sometimes it's in my favor. So at least, I mean, if the coin comes up heads, at least some of the time, it's fine. But it was one of those things. This guy, again, I like the guy, but he did the thing where he was talking to me before the show. He set up his camera and whatever. He's like, I'm gonna do PG. I'm not just going to be clean. I'm going to be PG clean so that I can show I'll have a PG tape. This is Brad Upton's room. That's what they want anyway. So like, okay, I'm totally for it. 100% I'm for it. He bailed. Did not do PG.
Okay. Did he think it was PG or he knew he bailed?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. But
what was over the line in your opinion?
Oh, he was cursing several times.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It wasn't
cursing like the S word.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Or not. Honestly, I think a PG movie can have an S word these days. I'd have to look into that, but
I mean, that's not what people mean. We know what clean means, and that wasn't it. I know the sound guy. And when a couple of these things hit, I look over to the sound guy. He looks at me. He was like, I thought Brad was gonna light him early. I mean, because he was getting. I mean, the subject matter was filthy.
Did you see was it only one show?
Yeah, one show, just one Thursday show.
Do you know why that was? Was he like, where does Brad Upton live?
I don't know where. I think he mentions that he is from Seattle. So I don't know if he's still in Seattle.
I wonder if he had a corporate that weekend or a.
He did. This was January 1st, and so on December.
So maybe he had like a New Year's party.
December 31st, he did the club in Fort Wayne. So he did the club in Fort Wayne on that Wednesday, and then Thursday.
Is that a Bark Club as well?
It's a Bark Club as well.
Oh, okay. So they put together a little run for him.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
nice.
But
speaking of New Year's, sorry, did you have more on that?
Yeah. I got more on Brad.
Let's hear it.
He was very impressive. I really liked Brad Upton for a very specific reason.
Okay.
And his material was just very lean, funny, put together, and it just moved. So, a lot of guys, including the feature, will take a subject matter and they'll spend 3, 4, 5 minutes on it and really only have 2 or 3 good laughs. I don't know if you've seen that, like just something that's overwritten or just over talk, whatever it is. And Brad,
I see it all the time, Jake.
Yeah. I'm sure you see it all the time. Yeah,
it's in my act.
That's right. There it is. And it's like, I always think, every good comedian or any decent comedian can write 10 jokes on a subject, But it's like it takes some discipline to say, I'm only going to tell 3, and Brad did this thing where he would change subjects so often. I started timing it. I mean, I was so impressed. I'm starting to time it. It was like 40 seconds he's talking about this subject, and then like 55 seconds, and then like a minute, and then like back to 40. And he's just like jumping, like, hey, we're talking about this. Punch, 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 punch over here. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, yeah, I was very, very impressed.
Does he put out specials?
He does,
not including dry bar.
I don't know. I think it was just the dry bar. He is
because I think that's kind of an old school. I just saw a picture of him. He's an older guy, and I think that's like an older school. Yeah. Some of those jokes might be 10 plus years old,
maybe.
And when you can do that, if you don't have to turn over your material, I think both of us are in the boat where we're still doing our best jokes from day one. But eventually we'll tape a special and we'll have to put all that stuff to bed and start over from scratch. But there are some old school comedians who kind of don't live by that. And they're still telling jokes from 1995 that are still funny and relatable, which is really impressive.
Well, that it might be because he did a lot.
Did you hear jokes you'd seen before?
I had never seen any of his stuff before.
Okay.
So, but
what do you mean? Have you watched his dry bar specials?
I have not watched his specials.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But he, I think comedy is better live, Mark.
I do too.
But the thing that also impressed me is he is doing these jokes that is not a long story, that don't feel like they fit together like super organically, and he's no notes, and he's just firing them off, and he's just like just really polished. And so I was impressed. And so it might have been that. It might have been he's doing, this joke for the, 500th time. And
right. I mean, I'm sure you've always been such a short joke writer and pretty punchy, but I've definitely noticed over the years, like I get offered a 10-minute spot and I'm like, how am I going to squeeze all this stuff in? And then it's fun because like I trim out so much fat, and it is joke, but you can't do that in year 1, 2, 3 because you don't have an hour of material to cull down to 10 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, whenever that happens, whenever you're like expect like featuring nowadays, do 25. Okay, I'll do 25. And just be able to demolish 25. That's fun. That's fun.
Speaking of not fun, check this out. Today's Tuesday. Just yesterday, I get an email from a national booker that I've worked with for years. I do headlining shows for around the country. And I don't know how much of this to really share, but basically I'd reached out and said, hey, like every one of these clubs has like a timing thing where once you're there, you can't go back for 14 months, let's say, so you have to wait a certain amount of time. And my last run with this company was towards the end of 2025, which means that basically I'm not eligible to do any of their rooms the entire 2026 year. So, which is the first time this has happened, where I'm gonna miss a whole calendar year. Yeah. So I just reached out and said, hey, I know I'm not going to get anything until 2027. I know you sometimes do some weird side things. I'd love to do any of that if it becomes available. They write me back. This is a long story, Jake. You got to stick with the whole thing.
I'm with it.
They write me back and say, well, we got some feedback from the clubs you worked for 2 years in a row that you didn't do a great job, and we're not going to have you back. Headline.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm like, talk about like there's nothing like comedy where things are so personal.
Yeah.
It's not like I filed a form wrong at an office job. Yeah. It's like, Me on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm like devastated, and this is like 10 in the morning. I'm walking around like a zombie until about 2 p.m. when all of a sudden I get the greatest email I'm going to get all year, which is this super high paying gig from a year before that I loved doing.
Yep.
That group booked in probably like April. They reached out on January 5th and said, "Hey, we want to do this again in June or July. Are you available to do it?" And I'm like, "Of course I'm available to do it." And I'm even more enthusiastic because I'm down in the dumps about this other thing. All right. So, and meanwhile, I email the person back and I just go, I'm very like, I try not to be too defensive, but I'm also, and try to be polite. I'm like, heard, and I'm glad you felt comfortable giving me this negative news. I really do appreciate that. I'm a little surprised because I sold well after all these shows. And, the one show, it was over like a holiday and there was like another thing involved that made it kind of a bad. I'm trying to dance around so people can't figure out exactly what it is, which you could probably figure out if you went through my tour history. But anyway, so I responded and they were just like, yep, whatever. And then overnight, like I'm losing sleep, Jake. I'm like tossing and turning about this. And it suddenly occurs to me, is it possible? They book a lot of comedians. Is it possible they're thinking of somebody else? And then I suddenly like get, this, what's that popular thing where people think they're not as good as they are?
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. So like this is like combating imposter syndrome. Now I'm like holding on to this like a life raft. Like, oh, they must have made a mistake. It can't possibly be me. Guess what happened this morning?
They said it was you.
No. Thanks for the confidence, Jake. No, they emailed and said, "Oh, hey, I'm so sorry. That was a different Mark."
What a bummer.
What a roller coaster.
Absolutely.
What a roller coaster of like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Down, down, down. And then I guess back to even because really there's nothing to do until 2027. I said, well, thanks for telling me. And good Lord, be careful with people's egos and lives out there, folks.
Yeah. I mean, that is cool. I mean, losing sleep, I think is the least of it, that is, if they're like, hey, we're never going to hire you again. And it's not because of misconduct. It's because you're not good.
Yeah, basically. And the email was pretty political or whatever. It was obvious they had written this email a number of times. And they were like, look, we know that you're funny. And we're not really saying that you're not funny. But this subjective thing and these people multiple times did not. They thought we could have booked somebody better for this spot. But dodged a bullet there. I mean, honestly, between now and 2027, I would not be disappointed if I'm beyond these rooms, which could happen. They do not pay super well, but I enjoy them and I really like the communities. And one of them, like I even had somebody come back who had seen me 14 months previously. They came specifically because I'm a cleaner comedian and brought some people and talked to me after the show and told me they still had my sticker. And so, man, that was a real, we talk all the time about not knowing if you did well, for sure. Like you always think you did well, but man, that really poked a hole in my confidence, my barometer.
But, I mean, that's the thing about competitions and stuff or, so, I mean, they're in many ways not fun. Like I have, there's the funniest person in Louisville happening this week. And I don't mind competitions because sometimes you can get a really good tape. And I would challenge myself to do new stuff throughout and like really try to, but early on I dismissed it because the finals, the day of the finals, I'm booked. And so I can't do it. And I just now today, realized that I could have done the finals because the booking is early enough and the finals is late enough that I could have done it. And I told my wife that, and she's like, yeah, but competitions are terrible. We don't want to do competitions. And I'm like, I don't have that attitude. It's like her.
I've heard you have that attitude.
I've had such a bad. I'm such a bad sport or bad loser or whatever it is that I guess now you too. But my wife is like, no, never do a competition again. And I'm like, I kind of like competitions. I'm a competitive person already, but I like comedy competitions, even if you're like, hey, I'm not going to win. Like last year, I did really well. I didn't win. The guy who won was a guy who's a pastor who had been doing stand-up just on and off here and there. And it was funny. I'm not saying it wasn't funny. Very funny guy, but really, is more of a pastor than he is a comedian. And half the room, 3/4 of the room was the church. And so but because of that, I'm on the same show. He beats me, but he also has booked me like 2 or 3 times. So and we're friends, so it's like,
Yeah. Well, that's a really nice thing about competitions is the networking.
Yeah.
Because it usually draws people from all over.
Yeah.
And so even if you don't win, now you know somebody from Pittsburgh, and next time you're in Pittsburgh, maybe you can get an ad on some kind of show. Yep. So yeah, competitions are tough though. Yeah. It is hard for your ego. I got I got new faces coming up this year. Yeah. If I don't advance, like get me seppukuda, or what do you call those fancy knives you commit harikari with? Seppukuda. Why can't I say that? Seppukuda. I don't know how you pronounce it. I can see the spelling in my head, but
have you ever advanced on new faces?
I haven't. No. No, and honestly, I'm not sure. Last year was the first year. The last 2 years, I felt like I might have advanced, but it wasn't like I was for sure in the top 2 or 3 that they were going to select. I think it was 2 years ago that they chose 3 or 4 people, and I was pretty disappointed that I didn't make like the top 4. And I know this year I was bummed about it, but something's changed in the last year, particularly at Comedy Works, where I just don't care the same way, which I think is not in a negative way, in a way that is just, it's better for comedy. It's just more natural and fun. And I hope I'll make the semis. I don't really care about advancing past the semis, but we'll see how that goes. A lot of pressure, man. A lot of pressure going into that. And I just got to remember somehow to like be loose. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to, I don't want to, what I've learned over the years is don't Jerry Seinfeld it and don't care about every single syllable.
Yep.
Everybody who advances, they're just like, they look like they don't care.
Yes.
And
especially in Denver. It's interesting. There is a specific vibe almost in Denver. Maybe Sam Tallent's influence, because he doesn't look like he cares, but he is incredibly funny.
Well, there's also a big like talk about yourself and kind of personal journey, and it's less like set up punchline, more
I remember
reveal something about yourself.
I did an open mic and in Denver, I don't know how many sets I'd done, probably 40-ish, 30, 40, something like that. It was at a pizza place and in Denver. It's just that open mic, just doing.
I remember that place, Friday Night Mike.
Yeah.
And in Capitol Hill. Ambush comedy was terrible.
Yeah. And I was doing my jokes, and I was reading comedy books and trying to write and trying to get everything done. And the host said something that, I guess I still remember, but she said, and I think I know her name. I think I remember her name, but she said, so I get off stage and it's an open mic. You're never going to crush, but it was okay. And I get off the stage and she's like, well, I guess, that's how comedy's done. Just set up punchline, set up punchline. And she said it like a little bit sarcastic. And I'm like,
yeah.
Huh. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I had something similar when I was starting. I'm pretty sure it was Roger Hack. You know who he is.
Yeah, I do know him. Yeah.
And we're, I would say, friendly now.
Yeah.
But he was hosting a mic, and I did some jokes, and he came up and he played the Seinfeld theme song.
Yeah.
As a like derogatory thing.
Yeah.
Like,
a billionaire.
That was not good comedy.
Yeah.
That was what is this guy time traveling from the 80s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's another aspect of Denver comedy. There's a little bit of meanness.
Yeah, there's some snobbery.
Yeah, I think it has gotten better post-pandemic, but I'm not really in the mix enough.
Yeah, I left
to know
mid-pandemic, so I don't know. But and that's an odd vibe. Like, hey, don't be like the real comedians. Be like us, unsuccessful. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, Jerry Seinfeld is a billionaire. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like play to the back of the room.
Right. I just thought of something funny that I'm gonna pull up this email that I got this morning, and I think yes, I thought I said LOL in the email, but there's a crying smile emoji in the email where the booker is like, oops, my bad. I want to apologize. I misspoke. It was another mark. Duh. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. It's like, oh man, you are toying with emotions over here.
Yeah.
Killing me. You'll be excited to hear that I closed I'll say on the Patreon how much I'm getting, but a pretty good older person show during the day where I'm doing that corporate stump speech thing and jokes. And it was a referral through, the national service we use. Which, by the way, did you get their email today that said they booked $28 million in bookings?
No, I didn't.
Anyways, 28 million. That's crazy. I had no idea. I'm like, I don't know, $2,000 to that, maybe, maybe 3. I don't know. 28 million, dude. Like, I look at the percentage that they take out, and I usually think, that's no big deal. But 28 million, they're making some money.
I mean, you get us more gigs then. Golly, man. Use that money, put it back in the business, get us more gigs. Yeah. We'll do them.
Yeah.
But
cool. So anyways, I got a nice signed up a new gig, and that was one. It's for May, and it's on a Friday or it's on a Thursday in May. And I told him originally, you know what? I am in for this, but let's wait till like March to like really finalize it and market it, because I might move it around if something gets offered to me. I said a little more politely than that, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a gig that I'm not writing it in permanent marker because it just doesn't.
Is this the old people gig?
Yeah, this is the old people gig.
Interesting. Okay, you're gonna market
it? Because when I look at my calendar, at that point, I have like 3 weeks with nothing. So I could end up driving to Kentucky for 2.5 weeks, and then I would shift it to the end of that 3-week period. And it's like smack dab in the middle. And like, that's the way I always think when I see these big chunks. Like, I don't have that many left this year, but chunks that are like 3 to 4 weeks where I don't have anything, like personally, no medical appointments, no who knows what, no comedy gigs, then those are things that I can go on these long runs. And so when I get one in the middle, I'm kind of like, well, I don't really know if I'm going to be around, what's going to happen. And then, oh geez. Okay, have we ever paused a taping?
I don't think
I got a phone call I got to take. Let me pause this, and we'll be right back. And I'm back. So sorry about that, everybody. Had a emergency bathroom situation. No, not really. Had to take a phone call. And we were just discussing off air how we have no idea what we were just talking about. Now, dear listener, you of course know what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But
you know,
we can't remember
but,
at all.
Mark was in the bathroom for so long that there's not any chance
we've completely forgotten.
But I have a story for you. I think you'll like this.
Okay,
story.
Let's hear it.
So I was on Gig Salad, and I, as a featured, performer or
top
whatever
performer.
Not top performer, but the feature, like you pay for the extras. Like not the free one, but the paid for. You get to list in multiple categories. Well, I have used that multiple categories in the last 3-4 weeks on 2 or 3 different occasions. So I got booked to do a storytelling event, which was weird. We talked about that, Christmas Carol. And then most recently I was booked as a Roastmaster. Now, I can see that nobody else sent this guy a quote.
So nobody signed up for the Roastmaster. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. I signed up mid-episode.
That's right. I'm the only person. Now, I have done a Roastmaster. I think I've done a Roastmaster like 2 or 3 years ago. And it was this woman, her husband was turning 50. And she's like, just make fun of him. And she gave me a bunch of dirt on him. And I wrote a bunch of jokes just to make fun of this guy. But this was, I don't have dirt on anybody. I don't know anybody's name. And I was trying to explain to the guy what I was planning on doing. But basically, I just did crowd work. And so I got there, and it's in this guy's basement. I didn't know what the group was, what brought them all together. It was obviously a Christmas party. It was, in early January, but it was a Christmas party. And, a bunch of everybody was adults. A couple of them looked kind of drunk, but most of them looked relatively sober. And it was for a softball league. So like this men's softball team apparently won state and then went on to like the nationals and did decent or whatever. But they were really into softball. And the softball team was there, and they did like this little white elephant thing. They did this like murder mystery thing before I got there. And but after the white elephant, it was my turn. And it's like nobody in the room knows what's about to happen. I have a general idea what's about to happen. Even I don't really know what's going to happen because it's just I brought my PA system and I'm just gonna go. And he introduced me. He's like, here's Jake. He's gonna do he's gonna do this little show, whatever, for about 40 minutes. And as soon as he said that, I'm like, am I going to be able to make it for 40 minutes? I ended up doing 65. It was so much fun. And everybody had a great time.
Awesome.
He texted me the next day. He says, oh my goodness, that was so good. Everybody loved it. I really appreciate, and he was really into it. And so it's interesting. It's like, I think he thinks that's what Roastmasters is. And I don't think that's what Roastmaster is, But I did.
Did they give you information ahead of time?
No information.
Oh, okay.
Everything I'm doing on the spot. So like I'm making fun of the different players, the way they look, and one of the kids is really young. I was making fun of him a lot, and other guys were. A lot of for whatever reason, they put a lot of the big fellas in the infield, and so I was making fun of a lot of beef in the infield, all that sort of stuff. But I'm getting all of the information while we're doing
real time. Yeah.
Real time. So, yeah.
That's all. Well, they did well. They booked well. They got a good value.
Yeah, it was a fun.
Did you get a review?
I did not. That was the thing. He texted me the next day, said, we had such a good time. Oh my goodness. And we kind of went back and forth and, 3 or 4 times. And he's one of these guys, very conscientious. Beforehand, he's like, here's my number, send me a text, let me know what time you're going to get there, here's where to park, that sort of stuff. And it's just in his basement. It's not like that big of a deal. But he's just a very conscientious guy, and he has not made a review yet. So,
do you think you'll ask him?
I might. I should ask him.
You should.
I should ask him.
Here's what you can do. They have a link. You can send them the link. Although I think it's different when it's a verified review. Yeah. I'm not 100%, but you can send them a link, and they ask some questions, and just to make it easy for him, you can just remind him the date that the event was.
Yeah.
And he'll know where it was. That's the only other hard question. And then they have to select like what kind of event it was. So you might want to say, it was a Roastmaster event, or it was a comedy show, whatever you want to call it. I think he can change it post event.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Good job, man. I've started to try to combat the frustration of not getting reviews by bringing it up earlier and earlier. Like essentially saying, hey, I just want you to know that I have an expectation that after this event, if you think I did a great job, you'll leave me a review.
Yep.
And so that way, if I do have to ask later, they will.
Yeah.
Be more likely to.
That is an interesting thing. And
I think ultimately, I would like to get to a point where that's a deal breaker on my end ahead of time. Like I'm basically saying, hey, you will leave me a review, right? And if they say no, I say, I'm not the comic for you. I want a review.
Yeah.
And it only takes you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm driving there, I'm bringing equipment, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm, calling you to get information about the coworkers. Like it's not a big commitment, but if it feels like too much effort for them, then if they're like, oh, I'm not an online review person, then that's a business that, I'm probably going to get a different booking. So maybe I'd do something else. We were talking about New Year's Eve. I went to not the New Year's Eve show, but Comedy Works South. Eddie Ifft was there. He did 7 shows. He did 3 on New Year's Eve, including a family one. I asked him how it went. He's another guy that I've done a bunch of runs with, and so we're pretty friendly. And so we got to hang out before, during, and after the show. And he said that we didn't talk much about the family thing. I wish I would have asked him more, but he just said, I'm really good at that stuff. It's easy. And I think from talking to other comics, that the trick with the family stuff is you got to just talk to the kids a lot. Because joke structure does not work with children. You just got to be silly and goofy. But anyways, a kind of interesting show. Austin Black and Steve Vanderploeg were on it. And they both did a great job. There's like 80 people there Saturday night. It was fun. I feel like I know like half the staff there now.
Yeah.
Like the manager was all excited to see me. Shout out to Anders, nice guy. And they just run things so well at Comedy Works. It's terrific. They don't mess around.
Yeah.
So he has an incredible closer that
Eddie Ifft.
I definitely cannot share publicly. Probably not on a Patreon either, because he'll put it out on the special soon enough. And it will be the close. I've talked to him a bunch about it because it's my favorite joke of his. And he's told me that will be the closer of his next special. So whenever his next special comes out, he also had he had it's kind of like the Ghost of Christmas Future talking to him. He had one of the top podcasts in the world at one point. It's talking SHIT with Eddie Ifft.
Yeah.
And he also was on like the Joe Rogan Experience. He was like one of the first 150 episodes of Joe Rogan. So he was like top of the podcast world at one point, and he still has that podcast, and it has fallen off considerably.
Yeah.
What was he? He was telling me a story about, we were talking about retail clothes business stuff. And he said something about how smart business people sell when their property is hot, where most people want to stick with it. And he's like, I'm the good example of that with podcasts. I rode that thing all the way up and I've ridden it all the way back down.
Yeah.
So a cautionary tale for Mark and Jake as they try to make it with this podcast. Speaking of did you see the short that came out today?
No, I didn't.
Or yesterday? No. You didn't? It's probably our second most popular ever.
Nice.
And it's the one that I added captions to.
With the line on your face?
Yeah, line on my face with emojis and the captions, and it went quote unquote viral.
Nice.
At least for me, it went viral.
Yeah.
And so the captions seem to be a winner. Although today I was making the video for next week. Not a fan. It was so fun the first time I did it, and just getting to the second time of doing it, it doesn't take longer than 20 minutes maybe all in all to like clip up the video and create the nicely edited video and then upload it to the caption thing and then make sure the captions are right and adjust them a little bit. But like that 20 minutes, just thinking like, oh, I got to do this every single week now is brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I have an idea and I want to run this by you.
Okay.
Because it's a weird one. I got a weird idea.
Okay.
And it is producing a show and then giving everybody a bulletin. That's the idea, right? So
a bulletin?
A bulletin, right? Do you know what a bulletin
is? A bulletin in their head? A bulletin in their head?
No. It's a church thing. And
it's like a pamphlet.
Yes. We call them bulletins. Okay. And if you go to church right now, most cool hip churches don't do them. But if you go to an older older church, sometimes they do.
Like we'll have like the hymn numbers and whatnot.
Yes.
It's kind of like an agenda.
It's an agenda. It has the order of service is what it's called. So this is going to happen, and then this, and then this,
and
then this.
I've seen that.
Right. And it's usually, not always, but it's usually like one piece of paper folded in half. And I think it'd be very funny and interesting and also perhaps even profitable to give comedy people a bulletin. So they walk in, it's similar to a playbill, right? Of course. But
so it's before the show.
Yeah, just give it to them as they're walking in. Okay, you're going to go, sit wherever you want. Here's the folded. And then this is what to expect. Here are the comedians on the lineup. Here's maybe a bio, how to follow them.
Like a QR code they could scan to follow. Pay with Venmo, tip them.
Yeah, maybe a way to make it a little bit fun and interactive. Maybe coloring
crossword puzzle. Since you're going to start the show 20 minutes late, and you need something to do, a little Sudoku in there.
Exactly. Or maybe a way to capture email addresses. Like, hey, fill out the email address. Put your email address on the back of this thing. We're gonna.
I gotta say, Jake, I don't dislike it. I'll say this about it: if I went to a show and they did that, I would be very happy.
I know, right? I think that's exactly what I thought. I was like,
really, it's recognizing the artists on the show in a nice way. And I'll tell you, I have some experience with this because I have some venues where we have, I have a movie theater venue. And on the movie theater venue, we run a slideshow and it advertises future shows. It's got pictures of laughing people from previous shows. And it's got a headshot of each of the comedians on the show. And I'm going to tell you two specific things that I am confident are true. One, the comedians love it. I know that 100%. They see their face up there. That's cool. Yes. Mark went to the effort of finding this headshot and getting it up there and formatting it. And 150 people are looking at my face right now and my name. And two, and this one, 95% certain, I think the audience likes the comedian more when they've seen their face ahead of time. Because there's something psychological about, Ben Daly, he's famous. I've heard of him. I've seen him before. And it's really just, they saw him like half an hour ago on a slide. Yes. But I think it makes it kind of cool and it looks more organized. sometimes comedy shows can feel like, oh, we're just dragging people off the street. But there was some production value put in. I love that idea.
Production value. That's what I like.
Yeah.
That's the phrase.
The paper is a little weird. At first, I thought you were going for a bulletin after the show. And I thought it was going to somehow like include the crowd work riffs and stuff. And it was going to be made so quickly and printed off and ready. You would hand it out as they went out the door. And I was like, that sounds like a headache.
No.
All right. I got an email from a producer in Dallas that is going to be very important. And I'm going to explain why on the Patreon. So roll over to that, everybody. Mark and Jake, or patreon.com/Mark and Jake. Let's do some plugs. We're getting out of here. You go first this time. January 19th.
Yeah. So at the end of January, doing E-Town, No Don't Tell, January 31st. February 1st, doing a show at Louisville Comedy Club. So should be a good time. I'm in Dallas. Awesome. I'm in Austin, and I'm in all sorts of different places, kind of in the middle, but it's a lot of corporate stuff. And so, and we'll see how that all shakes out. But you go to Big J Comedy and book me for your Roastmaster.
Awesome. Markmasters.co. Everybody, there's a contact form there. You can reach me. January 19th is Martin Luther King Day. As far as I know, unless somebody cancels it, it is still MLK Day. Thank you, everybody. Props to MLK. We're excited about him. Probably should have said something up top about that. Forgot about that being the case. On the 23rd, Friday, January 23rd, may not be tickets available anymore, but I'm at Rapids Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. It's very exciting. I'm selling the tickets myself. I'm producing the show myself. I booked a local host who has equipment and is driving me and Ronell Harden, who's the feature. And we're both flying in from Denver. Fingers crossed we make it on time. I land at 2:30 p.m. on a connecting flight from Chicago. Late January. This is very dicey. And we have like a 2-hour drive to get to this gig. But ticket sales are going great right now. You can get those tickets at markmasters.co. And very excited about that. Please come out. And the next night, Saturday, January 24th, I'm in Duluth, Minnesota at Dublin. It's a side room in an Irish bar. It's great place, doing back-to-back shows. And I'm only nervous about my lodging because we go real hit or miss with the booker there. Sometimes I get put up in a crack house. Sometimes I get put up in a Holiday Inn. And I'm not feeling lucky because I'm guessing hotel rooms are going to be expensive this time of year, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyways, markmasters.co. Everybody check out the Patreon. Thanks for tuning in. Have a terrific 2026. See you next time.